time in Munich.
Thank you for having us down here, and thank you for shouting out the gig. It's as an independent artist, it's we're very dependent on this type of support, viral support, and especially sort of people who are passionate about music, and whether working for magazines or running their own websites, whatever it is, it's an incredibly important part of what we're doing, because we can't get our message and our ideas and our songs out without the people that are passionate for music like this. So it's very appreciated. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so first of all, we want to know, how would you describe yourself in only 3 words?
Focused, passionate, zany.
Okay.
You know what that means.
And how would you describe your music? So now you have more than 3 words.
Thank you very much. I'm glad I haven't used that my whole allocation. Obviously I'm a songwriter, so that's a part of it. But I'd say that my sort of my influences are sort of generally more band-based, and so I'd say I'm a sort of rock and roll singer-songwriter.
Okay.
I think a lot of the time sort of people have stereotypes with singer-songwriters being a little bit downbeat or reflective, and I certainly think there's a reflective quality in the music, but I would say that the ideas are expressed with an energy, and I like to think with a rock and roll quality, but I mean rock and roll not in a sort of stereotype, sex, drugs, madness, but more rock and roll in terms of spirit and energy, and trying to put something good out into the world.
Okay. So the next I have to read because it's so many. Jim Kroft, the man who had been on tour with Anna Calvi, The Pusher, Martin James, and Sunrise Avenue. So what was so special on these artists for you?
Well, again, it's one of the paradoxes of being a musician in the early stages of your career, or an independent musician, is that a lot of people won't really listen to you until you build up a profile, and it's a real challenge, because one would like to think that great music is just found and discovered and makes its way into the world, but the fact is that there's 6 or 7 billion people on the planet, and there's a lot of music and a lot of musicians out there, and we're only as good as the partners that we find, and the stories that we live, and the help that we get, and the strength that we have to take what it is we're trying to say and take it into the world. And there's this aphorism that when a song is written, that the songwriter's responsibility is to have the strength to take this song, once being written, to its audience. And this is a long process. I wrote the songs for the new album on a mattress living in Neukölln, in a cheap area of Berlin, and it's a long journey to get these songs out. And these bands that I've supported, they're wonderful bands. I played with Peaches as well, which was a great experience. But it's only once you start getting reaction from certain areas and you've had the strength to fight that you get these opportunities. And I'm just very privileged that I've had the great chance to support some wonderful acts, and going to be supporting, am I allowed to say the next door? Not yet, but a wonderful band later in the year, which I'm very excited about, which hasn't been announced yet.
Okay. And where or with whom you have the most experience, the wonderful moment on tour?
Well, I've had wonderful experiences in different ways with all of them. I had a sort of, there was, Sunrise Avenue are obviously one of the most successful bands in Germany and in Europe at the moment, and it was a very big tour, playing 7,000-8,000 people, and it went through 15 countries in Europe, an amazing experience. And but one of the most lovely things was discovering what a humane and down-to-earth man Samu, who's the lead singer of Sunrise Avenue, and we had a very strong personal connection in sort of how we've came to music and gone about how we've gone about our lives, and I think after the sort of 4 or 5 gigs, I think we just had a sort of conversation where we realised it was a sort of meeting of minds, and the tour was really a delight, and had a great time with Pusher, who were fantastic, and I think with Martin and James, who also toured with this year, it was just very, very special because they're 2 of the most talented people I know, and also 2 very good friends of mine, and I have enormous respect for these guys. And when they sing together, I really feel like a very special magic happens, and it was just a wonderful tour, because there's nothing like going on tour with your friends, and they're my friends.
Cool. And at home, which music do you listen to?
That's an interesting question, because I used to have a vinyl player which broke, and I don't really like downloading music, and the problem is that since I moved over to Germany, I sort of managed to sort of lose my CD collection in the move. But this was funny because I've been writing a lot of songs. I've been a solo artist for 2 years, and before that I was in different bands. But I've really been, the last couple of years, stopping to listening to. Obviously, I love music and I listen to it, but I was very focused on my own playing, my own songwriting, and not just songwriting, but more about sort of what I was reading and what I was thinking about, and the path that I was living. So actually, rather than sitting here naming 5 bands, I would be more thinking about a writer like Joseph Campbell, who was very huge. It was a huge effect on my thinking and my thoughts, and delving into sort of psychology and like Carl Jung or a bit of Nietzsche or whatever. And these guys, I mean, some of them I don't understand. I wouldn't sort of sit and pretend to be an intellectual who's read, Heidegger and in his native tongue. But I'm more like a sort of blackbird for ideas, trying to find ideas that I can relate to, and then trying to react to them and with a song to interpret them and maybe make them a little bit sort of easier, because I think there's no sort of more direct way into the human heart of a song, and I think the power of song is take a complicated idea or a feeling and try to sort of transpose it into the human heart.
Okay. Today in Munich is the middle of your own tour. So what was in Hamburg or Cologne, what was it special for?
It was a wonderful experience because it's the first headline tour that I've done, and we're not supporting the tour with a big single or with a big promotion. So I was sort of a little bit sort of nervous, because at the end of the day there's not sort of a huge record company or something promoting this tour. Like, all the bands that I've supported this year have a major label supporting them, and that's not something that I have. I'm very, very lucky with my management. So I have good people and good team, but it was and a wonderful booking agent who I've come to. But it's we've been doing it through, I think, enjoyment of the songs I've written. But the wonderful thing was going to Hamburg and then to Cologne and seeing these huge queues outside, and I couldn't express what a wonderful and sort of almost life-changing, or one of the most incredible experiences of my life, just to see people actually queuing for a show we were going to put on. I couldn't believe this, and that was an amazing experience to have.
Okay. And what is special for Munich today?
Well, I think Munich is one of the most beautiful and incredible cities, and my Mitbewohner is actually Bavarian.
Okay.
And so he's been feeding me propaganda since I first arrived in Berlin, and as a result I feel that I'm really like my second home is Bavaria, and I love coming to Munich, and I try and visit Augustina's, the restaurant, to eat Schweinebraten. And unfortunately I don't know if we're going to get there this time, because we're headlining with some other responsibilities, but I really love Bavaria, and I look forward to exploring more of it. It's such a beautiful place, and I love the traditions and how proud Bavarians are of where they live. I think that's a lovely